Hi, boys and girls. Today we have another lesson about Nehemiah. But first, before I get started, we're going to pray and ask God to open our hearts and our minds and our ears so that we listen and that we are open to what He wants us to hear. So let's bow our heads. Jesus, I thank you for this day. I thank you for each and every one of these children listening today. I ask that you would open our ears and our hearts and our minds so that we would hear what you have for us and help us to learn to help others. And we love you, Jesus. Amen. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Nehemiah. But first off, I have a question. Have you ever helped your mom or dad or your brother or your sister maybe help clean your room up or help your brother or sister tie their shoe? When you helped them, how did it make you feel? Did it make you feel good inside? I bet it did. So this story that we're going to talk about today is about Nehemiah, and he loved to help others. He wanted to make sure that people were treated fairly. And Nehemiah, he was the governor over Jerusalem. And he wanted to make sure everybody was taken care of. So after the walls were built in Jerusalem, it was time to plant the crops. But the people didn't have very much money, so they went to the rich leaders. And we're going to pretend these are our rich leaders. This plate is our rich leaders. So people went to the rich leaders and they said, we will give you this money right here so that we can buy your seeds so we can plant them in our field. And then when we get them, we'll repay you. So they gave them the seeds so they could plant them in their fields. So they planted them in there. Got them all planted. And then after they got planted, it was harvest time. So they harvest their fields. And look what they got. They were so excited. But they remembered before they could have what they needed, they had to go and give their part to the rich leaders because they said that they would pay them back. But guess what? The rich leaders took almost all of their food. And they didn't have very much food left. And they couldn't sell it to make any money. So they had to just keep it so they could eat off of it. So when fall came again, or for them to plant their crops, they had to go back to the rich leaders again and ask them, if we pay you this money, can we have some seed to plant in our fields and we will pay you again? And the rich leaders were like, yes, but you're going to have to pay us twice as much. So they gave them the money and they got the seeds and they planted in the fields again. And then fall came and they harvested it all up. But guess what? They had to give food back to the rich leaders. So the rich leaders took almost everything and they didn't have very much left. And they were just very sad. The Jews were very sad and angry. So they went to Nehemiah. And they told Nehemiah that what the rich leaders were doing to them. And Nehemiah, he was very upset that they did this. So he called in the rich leaders. And he said, why would you do that to them? God sent them back here from Babylon. They were slaves in Babylon. Why did you do that to them? And now you are making them slaves to you. And the rich leaders were very ashamed of what they did. They were very ashamed. So they gave back all of their extra food that they had and their money. They gave it back. And that made Nehemiah very happy that they did that. Nehemiah had helped those in need and taught others to help those in need. So this week, I don't know, whenever you feel like it, or whenever, maybe not when you feel like it, but maybe one day this week, maybe help your mom or your dad, or if you have a brother or a sister, maybe if you help them do something, do you know what? That is going to make you feel so good to help those in need. I love you all and miss you all so very much, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Bye.